Today on the channel, we get retro once again with Uncanny Spider-Man, aka Nightcrawler, and Marvel's The Owl.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Marvel Legend unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we're back at it with more Spider-Man retro figures, the more modern retro figures, I guess we'd say, with Owl and Uncanny Spider-Man, aka Nightcrawler. But for all your Marvel Legend needs, you guys know, jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15%. Gotta get a deal out there, and we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And these are two characters I am not familiar with. Obviously, I know Spider-Man. Obviously, I know Nightcrawler, but I didn't know he was Spider-Man for a while. Everybody gets their turn once in a while, I guess. And then Marvel's The Owl, which I think is more modern than at least my reading days. It reminds me a lot of what would be like a Batman villain or something. But interesting for what it is. But let's dive into it, and I guess we'll start with the Owl. That's what we'll go. We'll go with this one. Very interesting. I'm going to call it a deep cut character, but I'm here for it for a deep cut character on the shelf. Marvel's Owl looking good. Comes with an owl. That's always good to see. You get some extra hands here for him as well. On the back, you get the cross-sell, jibber jabber, UPC. You know we're unboxing all these on the channel. Marvel Legends, Owl got the glamour shot. Let's see what the old blurb says about him. Maybe it'll help us find out a little bit more about this guy's personality. Crime Lord Leland Owlsley. Oh, I see what they did there. Vies for a piece of New York City's criminal underworld, squaring off against Spider-Man and Daredevil as the Owl. So technically, you could put him on your Daredevil shelf if that's more your thing. Maybe have him side by side with the Kingpin squaring off too. There's possibilities on that. Everybody loves a crime lord, don't they? Maybe. Maybe. We're going to see, though. Get him out of the package. See you later. Goodbye. Spider-Man, Owl style. See you later. Goodbye as well. Plastic Owl prison locked up. Locked up. And I like the accessory with this one. And of course, you're an owl. You better have an owl accessory. And there it goes. See you later. Goodbye, of course. And as we know, hootin' leads to hollering. And that's what we know about owls here. But very good looking figure. We get two-fisted Fury with, of course, the claws like young Wolverine. We'll dive into that in a second. But then we get the maniacal hands, extra maniacal because you got the long fingernails here. Who knows what he's up to? But wild, pale white hands. Very devious is what that is. Now, we do get the owl here. Looks like we're going to call it a barn owl. I don't think that is the case, though, with that white face. But interesting. All in kind of a tan, sandy color. Nice little accessory, one of those accessories you use with other toy lines if you really wanted to, but a nice little owl for him. And now we're going to dive into the owl himself, looking a little bit like Wolverine's cousin, maybe with that hairdo. No mustache on him, but you got the long kind of sideburns going on into the beard. Looks like he could be from like Ireland or, like I said, maybe Canada, maybe a Wolverine relation there. But his claw just fell off on me. I don't like that one little bit right there. But it looks like they are apparently removable. But he does have these claws, these short little daggers here, clip into the hand. Very cool. Gonna have to use these for him. Gives him a little extra pizzazz because he kind of just looks like an old guy you'd see at some English pub is what he looks like. But you add these claws, you add an owl to him, all of a sudden you're cooking with gas. We know how that goes as well. Looks to be some reuse from the scarf I think we've seen before, maybe Star-Lord or something. And he's got all kinds of stuff going on. Once again, playing up some of those English stereotypes here. He's got the big jacket over the top, a smaller jacket underneath there. You got some green pants, you got a white undershirt, and then a scarf over the top. Looks like he's ready for an Irish brew, a pub in Scotland, or maybe a stroll through Central Park, maybe around Home Alone 2 time frame. Who knows what he's up to? But it is an interesting looking character. Not a ton of pizzazz with this one, I will say. But I like the head sculpt. Does look very interesting as far as I am concerned here. Now his arms should go all the way around, but you are limited by this jacket on here. You do get the side to side. You do get a bicep cut. Single jointed elbows on this one. Taking a trip to the past is what the Legends team's doing. I don't know if he desperately needs double jointed, but it's nice to have the option. Hands are removable, back, forth, side to side. Head, back, forth, side to side, removable. Kind of a good custom fodder if you want to. Pop this head off, give some regular hands. You can make this into a lot of different people if you needed to. Has he got an ab crunch? He's got a turtleneck on. That's always a power move. But no ab crunch, anything like that. Just a little bit of side to side at the waist. You get the splits of the leg. Once again, you're limited by that jacket and coat. Goes up for the big boot if need be. You do get a thigh cut. Double jointed pinless knees. You got some nice brown boots here. Ankles up, down, back, forth, side to side. A little bit of a limiting factor, but this is kind of one of those guys that probably has other people do a lot of fighting for him, and you don't have to really fight him till the very end. But if that time does come, he's ready to go. He's got claws, and he can use them, just like Wolverine once upon a time. And he does fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand using code Kyle to save 10%. There it is, Marvel's The Owl. Not a top figure of the year by any stretch. Not a must-have figure probably, but it's fun to get some new characters every once in a while, and it seems like the Spider-Man Retro Wave gives us a lot of those, be it new characters or characters of old. And speaking of new characters, here's a new one to me. Like I said, I know Nightcrawler. I just don't know Nightcrawler as Spider-Man. I got to say, extremely light packaging on this one. I almost feel like there's no figure in here. But we do got Spider-Man, aka Nightcrawler, in the newer retro style packaging. Very interesting, this one here. Do I put him with Spider-Man? Do I put him with the X-Men? Where do I go from here? How long did this last? Somebody shout it out in the comments. On the back, same cross-sell, jibber jabber, UPC, all that fun stuff. Glamour shot. Let's see what it says about our friend Nightcrawler. Swashbuckling hero Nightcrawler teleports around New York City while masquerading as a new Spider-Man and trying to avoid anti-mutant organization Orcus. All right, well, it sounds like there's more to the story than meets the eye, like a young Transformers, maybe. But we're going to get him out of the package. We always do. We're like the Mountie. We always get our man. That's what we do here on the channel. See you later. Goodbye. What are we doing with that? There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. See you later. Spider-Man style. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic Nightcrawler prison. There it is. This is a way to get some of those collectors that love Nightcrawler to buy Spider-Man figures with this one here, as he does have Nightcrawler hallmarks to him, which I'm also here for as well. Hands, come on. There we go. Tape. See you later. Goodbye. All right, let's get down to Nightcrawler. We got hands. We got weapons. We got a little extra piece. This is what we saw with Punisher Nick Fury. Similar but different, maybe. This is his poomph where he disappears. I think that's what that's supposed to be in purple. You could use this with your X-Men versions of Nightcrawlers if you wanted to as well. Nice translucent plastic. We're here for that. And he's a swashbuckler, of course. He's ready to go. Red handle, silver blade, on guard or in guard or whatever they say out there. I should ask Bruce Dickinson. I'm going to probably see Bruce Dickinson next year. Lead singer of Iron Maiden. No big deal. Playing the Comic-Con circuit. I might get a picture with him. I feel like I need to. We'll see what happens with that. We do get extra hands. 2 Fists of Fury out of the package. We got a little bit of a splayed out hand. We've got another splayed out hand, and then we got a little bit of a gripping hand going on here. Of course, it is Nightcrawler, so we only got 3 fingers with Nightcrawler here. Looking very interesting, all in black. But now we get down to the figure itself. We get down to Nightcrawler. As the owl takes a header, oh, we hate to see it. We hate to see it. There we go. But we got Nightcrawler. Well, you're going to fall again? I saw you moving. I saw you moving, Owl. This guy's up to no good here. Up to no good. He's very top heavy, I will say that. There we go. If he falls, he falls. If he dies, he dies. We know how that goes. But we got a very Spider-Man-like head, but then you look at it, you're like, wait a minute. What's up with these elf-like ears here? Something amiss, and that's the Nightcrawler bleeding through on this Spider-Man. Looks pretty good, though. The red and black attack looking extra evil, and of course, people think Nightcrawler's the devil. We know how that goes. We saw the X-Men animated series once upon a time. Looking good in the red and black attack. Very skinny and thin like Spider-Man would be, so you might do a double take if you see him, especially if you see that devil-like tail spinning around in the back here. Always nice to see that in the red and black attack. Got those hallmarks of Nightcrawler in the hands, but also the toes. You got those 2-pronged toes down at the bottom. Pinless joints throughout on this one. Always nice to see that. Spider-Man-esque logo on the chest, we'll call it. Red and black attack throughout on the body, down into the forearms, down into the feet. Arms all the way around for us. Look at that. Butterfly shoulders on here. Bicep cut. Double jointed pinless elbows. The hits continue. Hands back and forth, side to side. Head back and forth, side to side. Nice ab crunch plus traditional waist there. Big old Nightcrawler splits if you need it. Leg goes up for the big boot. Double jointed pinless knees. No boot cut on this one, but you get the ankles back forth side to side, up and down. Our usual Spider-Man articulation. A pretty fun figure, all things considered. Not sure exactly where I'm going to put him in my collection, though. That's the tough part of this one, but I like the idea of Nightcrawler pretending to be Spider-Man. There's something kind of fun about that. So I do like this figure a whole lot more than I thought on surface. And unfortunately, Nightcrawler's hole's just not deep enough. He needs to work his hole game a little bit more. Stretch that thing out so he can fit on a stand. Not going to fit on a stand here today, but I did grab one of our more recent traditional Nightcrawler figures here, so you can kind of see a little yin and yang between these two. Maybe a little bit smaller than the X-Men version, but is what it is. That's kind of Marvel Legends for you all these years later, but not a bad piece of business on both of these. You get a new character, a new villain for the shelf, be it Daredevil or Spider-Man, and then you get a new take on a classic character like Nightcrawler. Two fun figures for what it is. Wouldn't have these on my bingo card, they'd be released. Wouldn't be my favorite figures of the year, top 10 material or anything, but two very solid, fun ones, part of the Spider-Man retro wave here in Nightcrawler Spider-Man edition. And the Owl. But what's your thoughts on these two? You need these in your collection? You gonna get these? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it far enough. Make sure you like the video. Give the old thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel. 2 channels with content every single day to keep you busy. Appreciate all the support. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Available every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So for Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, and the Owl, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
I'm solid gold.